All right, guys, good evening. It is Thursday night, September 7th, 8:53 p.m. New York time. And just a video here regarding the follow-up to the ECB rate decision and statement. And so very interesting action today. Certainly did not disappoint in the strength of in the classic style of Mario Draghi, who's the president of the ECB. Really caused a lot of volatility in the market this morning. Now, as anticipated, there was no change in the rate. That was at 7 a.m. New York time, and so when that came out, the market really just did not do anything. And they basically waited for Mario Draghi to speak about an hour or so later. And he spoke for about an hour and took questions during that time. And during that time, we saw the euro pairs, especially the euro dollar, whipsawing around greatly, just kind of hanging on Draghi's every word. So, you have to really have a stomach to trade during those times. And it was pretty rough. When I made the video last night, I was thinking, the euro was pretty much going to go straight down. And that did not happen, although some of the euro pairs did continue down after and are still going down as of right now. But, the euro dollar has been very resilient, again, on the back of a weak dollar. And just the fact that, as this article here, this is on Forex Live right now at the top of Forex Live, the ECB offered no clear indication of policies to address the euro's strength. So Mario Draghi, you can go back and watch the whole speech or watch the whole press conference or read some of the other articles on Forex Live that were posted earlier. They're pretty good. You can go through, all this stuff here. See, down to like the central bank. Let's see here. See if it's here. Yeah. So following appreciation of the euro, financial conditions are unquestionably tightened. So he really, these are really great articles to read, and you'll get a lot of summary about what actually took place during the press conference. Recent volatility in the euro requires close monitoring. It's a source of uncertainty. And then later on, he reversed that and said, "I don't think we're in a period of uncertainty." This is really what made the euro go up during when he started speaking. Initially, it was going down. Then he made this statement that, or basically hinted that the growth forecast had been the highest since 2007. So the market took that very, very positive. And it rallied quite a bit, and we did see a lot of that on the charts. So I'm going to look at the euro dollar here for a second. So let me get over here to my euro pairs. So here's the let me zoom out as the 30-minute chart. I want to get away from that. So here's about when the news came out this morning. This candle right here with these two long wicks on either side. This was the whipsawing that was going on during that press conference. We saw the pair spike down. We saw it rally. We saw it come back down. Then this is the 4-hour candle. We can go down a little bit, I guess here. We saw all this whipsawing going on during the news. Up, down. Just whipping around all day, and now we've kind of settled into moving back up here. Let's zoom back out. You see this recent high here, so it'll be interesting to see what happens now over the next couple of trading sessions if we come back up and continue past this high and keep going, which certainly may happen. Is that what's going to happen? Are we seeing the continuation of this uptrend, or is this a corrective move? we started to move back down. Now we're correcting up, and eventually we'll turn back down. And again, I think the key to this is this high right here. Basically, you can see this resistance point right here. And we zoom out a little bit more. Look, this has been pretty strong. So this is the weekly chart. This is the daily chart. This is what I was noting last night, that the euro has just been on a tear. And of course, this is being partially pinned by the fact that the dollar has been a little bit weak since the end of last year. There continues to be some geopolitical and fundamental and other issues going on that are driving dollar weakness. Of course, that pushes the euro higher too. But if we look at some of the other euro pairs, so let's look at euro kiwi, and we can see the euro kiwi is going down, and it's been going down, pretty much since Draghi press conference ended. This is about when the press conference ended. Right about here, we had this doji candle here, in all the volatility, and then we've kind of been drifting down ever since. And I can kind of see a trend in place here on the around the 1 hour chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did have an extended wave 5, but I do think that we're going to see a deeper correction here on the euro kiwi, maybe back to this low at least, and we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't be throwing in the towel on the euro altogether. There really was nothing in anything Draghi said today. I mean, he did try to jawbone it down a little bit, but it was very weak, and the market wasn't really buying it. So, I'd be cautious with any type of long-term sell on the euro. This could easily just be an ABC correction right here. We could turn back up tomorrow. Again, Draghi really didn't say anything that was, I would look at and say is bearish for the euro. In fact, just the opposite. Euro Canadian, kind of looking the same way. I have this labeled as an ABC, but clearly this C is really extending. Now again, remember, we have a very strong Canadian dollar, so this is going to be exaggerated a little bit. And this is the daily chart. I'm going to take this off of here actually. This is the daily chart, and this could be in a wave 3. We could see the Euro Canadian continue down, and again, this is being driven a lot by the strength in the Canadian dollar. So let's keep an eye on that one, and because it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward here. And again, I've lost my Euro Aussie pair, which I hadn't looked at before making this video clearly because I'd have it in front of me, but I don't have it. So, oh, there it is. I don't know why it's moved. Euro Aussie, again, same thing. 4 hour chart. This was when the news came out. This again, with this big wick up and down here. The Euro Aussie really didn't do much. I did not try to trade this one. I didn't like the looks of it before the news came out, and I still don't like the way it looks. And I actually expected to see, if things had been more bearish for the euro, I would have expected the euro yen to be a really good trade. But as you can see, that really hasn't done anything either, because again, Mario Draghi's comments were pretty supportive of the euro. And so that's it. It'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Did we just kind of have a blow off top here on the euro, and traders begin to rethink that maybe they pushed it too high too fast, or are we just going to keep going? There is some suggestion if you look at the dollar pairs, U.S. Swiss, where we could be approaching the end of a trend here on the U.S. Swiss, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe, something like that. U.S. yen is also reaching kind of a critical level of support here too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially. This is the 8 hour chart. You get a wave 1 of about 100 pips. You get a wave 5. That's currently sitting also around 100 pips or so, 108 pips. So these, if the dollar finds its feet again and turns back up, which I don't think, unless we get some good fundamentals, we're not going to really see that. But that would put a lot of pressure back on the euro again, and for people to, for the traders to realize that, maybe it has gone too high too fast. And again, you can see on the euro dollar that it really is just kind of holding this area. But if we go into the London session tomorrow, and certainly into next week, tomorrow's Friday, so who knows what we'll see tomorrow. But if if we see it blow past these highs here and keep going, then I would say, I would be just purely looking for longs. But if we hold this area and we see some definitive pattern move down, then I think we'd at least come back to this trend line. And so was this a 1? Now we're up for 2, and then we head down. I don't know. We'll see. This whole move up here does look like a wave 5, kind of a last push up here. But we've seen this before with the euro on this tear, and so I wouldn't necessarily bet against it. Although I did take a trade and I was stopped out of that this morning. I gave it a lot of breathing room, but it took me out anyways. But I'm still in short on the Euro Kiwi and the Euro Canadian, and I'm going to be watching those really close, but I'm going to hold them for now. So I also had shorts on the pound Aussie and the pound Kiwi going into that news as well, because the euro usually follows that down. And I actually did close both of those positions in profit, but I again, with the euro not performing to the downside the way I expected, I didn't feel comfortable holding those trades. For any remaining news this week, we do have Royal Bank of Australia Governor Lowe speaking at 4:30 a.m. New York time. I haven't looked to see what he's going to be speaking about, but unless it's monetary policy, I really wouldn't worry about that. We do have manufacturing PMI, manufacturing production from the British pound also at 4:30 a.m. That's, although they consider that red level, I'm not really sure that will do anything. Really, all eyes for the pound are focused on Brexit and Brexit talk right now, not necessarily on these type of things. It's going to be more on monetary policy and Brexit than these other markers. So I don't expect that's going to do much for the pound, but unless we get a real big deviation. And then 8:30 a.m. we have Canadian dollar employment change and employment rate. And that'll be interesting. They are expecting a better number than last month, which is not surprising given the strength of the CAD. If for some reason that comes out negative for the Canadian dollar, I would not be selling the Canadian dollar. I would look at that as a buying opportunity, on a pullback. But if it comes out strong, better than the 15,000 they're expecting, then certainly I would expect that the rally on the Canadian would continue. And if you're already holding longs on that, on the Canadian dollar, I certainly would not give them up, especially if we see decent news. So anyways, guys, that's it. So maybe the Canadian dollar will have some action tomorrow morning, but other than that, I think that'll probably be it for the week, and we'll see what happens with the euro. So thanks again, guys, and hope everybody has a great night. We'll talk to you soon.